Live from Nasdaq's MarketSite, I'm your host, Christina Ayanian, and joining me today is CEO and President of the Parkinsons Foundation, John Lehr. John, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
John, April was Parkinson's Disease Awareness Month. So to start us off, can you give us a little background as to what Parkinson's is and what are some of the symptoms of PD?
Sure. So Parkinson's is a progressive degenerative neurological disease. It's often characterized as a movement disorder, meaning that it initially affects your ability to move, your balance, your posture. Eventually, it becomes really a whole body disease, and it can affect cognition, mental health, the senses, GI, sleep, senses. About 1 million Americans live with Parkinson's disease, maybe 10 million individuals worldwide. We just completed a study that shows that 90,000 individuals are newly diagnosed each year, which is an increase of about 50% from prior estimates. So it's the fastest growing neurological disease. Among neurological disorders, there's Alzheimer's, there's Parkinson's, there's ALS. It's a disease that's really growing because it's primarily a disease of the elderly.
And why is it important to make people aware of Parkinson's disease?
Yeah, so building on what I just said about 90,000 individuals being newly diagnosed, that means a lot more Americans are affected. You take the individuals who live with the disease, you multiply that by their care partners, their family members, friends, and suddenly Parkinson's disease is affecting a lot of people. And as our population ages, the number of people with Parkinson's is going to increase. So we want people to be aware. What is Parkinson's? What you should be looking for? You asked about symptoms. So, usually the first symptom is resting tremor, whether that's in your hand or your leg or your foot. You may have a loss of sense of smell. That's often an indicator, or your handwriting might get really small. If you have any of those signs, you really should go see a neurologist to see if they can do a workup and determine whether or not you have Parkinson's.
You've done a lot from starting 17 new chapters across the country. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so the Parkinson's Foundation, we've been around for a really long time, since going back to the 1950s. We're probably the first national organization in the Parkinson's space. We had a merger a couple of years ago of a New York-based organization and a Miami-based organization. And in the last 6 years, we've truly become a national, really, in fact, international organization. As you mentioned, we've got 17 chapters all across the United States. We're represented through our global care network. We've got centers in Canada, in Europe, in Israel, in the Far East. I mean, we really are everywhere. And our goal is to make sure that people can have the best health and the highest quality of life. So we do that in 3 mission areas. We really spend a lot of money on research, trying to understand the basic and underlying defects of Parkinson's disease. We invest a lot in drug discovery and development so that we can have new and better therapies for people. We really are all about focusing on care, making sure that patients understand what good care is, that providers know how to deliver that care. And then education is a really big thing. A lot of people have a lot of questions about Parkinson's, whether they're living with the disease or know a loved one who has the disease. So we provide a lot of information through our website, parkinson.org. And we have a toll-free helpline number, which is 800-4PD-INFO, which is staffed by healthcare professionals who can answer any question you might have about Parkinson's disease.
That's incredible. It's more common than people may think.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the prior estimates, so we've done a whole new series of demographic studies recently. The prior estimates of people living with Parkinson's were really outdated and undercounting people. So over the last couple of years, we now know it's 1 million Americans, and that number is likely to grow again as our population ages. 90,000 individuals newly diagnosed each year. That's a 50% increase from prior estimates. So it's a disease that people are going to grapple with. People are living longer, so they're going to start experiencing Parkinson's a lot more.
How can people get involved to help?
Yeah, so there are many ways. If you're interested in learning more about Parkinson's, really go to our website, parkinson.org. We have educational events taking place all across the country. There's likely to be one in your local community where you can learn all sorts of things about how to manage Parkinson's, how to care for somebody with Parkinson's. These educational events take place in person and online, so that's a terrific way to get involved. We have a program called PD Health at Home where we offer virtual online services in mindfulness, wellness, and fitness 3 days a week, so Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then if you want to get involved from a volunteer perspective and actually go out and help raise money or help raise awareness, we have those 17 chapters that are all staffed by wonderful members of our Parkinson's team, and they will be more than willing to help you get involved in one way or another, whatever way works best for you.
That's incredible. John, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for sharing. And we at Nasdaq commend all the work that you and your team do to raise awareness for Parkinson's patients. Thank you so much.